All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to check out its local search and social and city search here. Both combined, see if they got BSS. So we're here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, pinned profile, pinned post, whatever. That's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So if we're bringing in people from the entire intent ladder, highest intent on the left to lowest intent on the right, boudoir photographer business is rising. And if we're not doing that, boudoir photographer business is falling. Pretty simple. Over on the left here, we talk about BSS. So the videos here, it's the highest intent peeps. People search for boudoir photo shoots on Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So highest intent search, closest to the money. We want to dominate that first. And over at the end, BLCS, that's our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where right now we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So that's some other profiles out there in the universe. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So if we got 0 slots on page 1, we're hurting, we're screwed. So I mean, we're on page 2 or 3 or somewhere later. And we also know that approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. They're page 1 only, they stay on page 1. So this is the bulk of people searching. The bulk of searchers, approximately 80% of all searches. So we actually want to cater this approximately 80% bulk. This is the bulk of the market. We don't care about the 20% that go to page 10. We don't care. Let's be the best in the universe at capturing these 80% that stay on page 1. So 0 slots, bad. 1 slot is bad, because then, dude, we're looking the same as everyone else. We're, if we got 9 other competing boudoir photographers on our, on page 1, okay, they got 9, buyers are just clicking down, going down every, clicking every link open on, sending a message to every single person, getting a quote from everyone. And we're not standing out at all. They probably don't even they don't even remember our name. They're just clicking through all 10, us and 9 other competing boudoir photographers. So this is a diagnosis. It's the most common diagnosis actually I've seen with across all boudoir photography businesses. Also, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's not normal to have that small number of slots on Google. This is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. These 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, obviously, more boudoir photographers entering the market seemingly every week. Every time anyone gets a new iPhone, they're sending out their Google My Business profile saying they now shoot boudoir, or they're, saying, they got their website, they're competing for page 1, maybe even giving on page 1, and kicking us off. Or they're getting a new camera, and now they're posting them on Facebook groups saying they also shoot boudoir. So more and more boudoir photographers are always entering the market. That's never going to change. And so that's market saturation. Everyone's used to that. COVID had a massive blast to that. People needed to earn income, couldn't work, and now actually needed to became boudoir photographers. So massive glut of boudoir photographers entered the market. The one that almost nobody knows about is the false belief of page 1 equality. So page 1 equality is basically assuming, everyone gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 of Google. More photographers come in, they might kick me off page 1. Now I got 1 slot on page 2, but that's how it is. It is what it is. It is how it is. And hopefully maybe I get back, someone leaves, someone shuts off their website, I go back to page 1, or maybe I go on to page 3 eventually. And it's just kind of something people accepted. But this is a false belief. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. So I know Google will give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And so I feel like most people there's never been a word for this. the false belief, well, for page one equality, people just kind of, there's never been a word to describe it. So I feel like people haven't really thought about whether they believe in it yes or believe in it no. But people's actions have told me it seems like people just have accepted it, right? Because they never, I don't know, had explicitly a word to say, oh, do I believe in that or not? So, and also this false belief of page one equality has been the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses that I have ever seen. You'll get relegated to page two, they disappear. They're, pretty quickly after their business disappears because referrals only last for so long. You can only spend so much ad money. CAC, customer acquisition cost, always goes up over time. It's the new people that have never heard about us yet that always, always, always sustain a business. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if we're from page two, we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never hit in page two. So we're disappearing, and pretty fast after that, our business will be disappearing as well from existence. And if we got one slot on page one, well, that's the scariest number on page one because we are one person could kick us off to page two if they take our slot. And also, we look the same as the other 9. If there's other 9 slots or 9 boudoir photographers, we look the same. Nothing special. They're clicking through all the links, contacting everyone, price shopping everyone. And so it's like 0 or 1, most likely disappearing. For 0 1, both local and city search. So we got our universe building up here. Disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the 2 horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. But luckily, BSS, boudoir search sameness, is treated with social search saturation. So our S-cubed methodology is our proprietary solution we've created. And been mastering it, building it over about the last 7 months. And ready to bring it to market. And with S-cubed methodology, we can actually we can take it as many page one Google slots as we actually want for whichever keywords we want. Instead of Google PPC, you get 1 extra text ad. Okay, who cares? Dude, we want to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 organic slots and up, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this S-cubed methodology, it's social search saturation. So we saturate social search first. And then once we saturate social search, Google recognizes that and it flows to us saturating page one of Google search. So page one Google search is actually the byproduct of saturating social search. And this is actually the only, this is the only thing I've seen that actually is able to successfully fight back against market saturation. So imagine we're in Topeka, Kansas, where one boudoir photographer we got. There's 1 million total boudoir photographers competing in this city. Everyone's got their own website, everyone's ranking or trying to rank page one on Google. But we crank S-cubed methodology to the max. When we crank S-cubed methodology to the max, let's say we saturate social search, the first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across all social platforms. And also, as a result, we capture the first 300 slots organic per Google. Well, there's 10 organic slots per page on Google, so that's literally the first 30 pages that we saturate. So when anyone that ever looks for a boudoir photographer in our city, anywhere they look, they search on social or they search on Google, we're basically the only one that they can find, even though there are literally 999,999 other boudoir photographers. And so whose business is growing? Ours, even though our market saturation has never been higher. And our business has never been growing faster because we capture so much, search intent or so many search slots. And so again, this is the only solution that I've seen that is able to successfully fight back against market saturation. Obviously, more market saturation, the more you got to crank the S-cubed methodology. But at least we finally got something. Finally got something that gives us some hope. Now, once our BSS is treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. So we kind of escape market saturation and the false belief of page one equality, and we achieve page one visibility. Now, a bonus of this is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So yeah, dude, every new slot we take on page one on Google, we're kicking a boudoir photographer out of there, relegating them to page two or deeper. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page two. That's literally 80%, the bulk of the market. It's never going to see them on Google. And same if we do, across all social search platforms. So this is a bonus of doing using the S-cubed methodology, kind of reducing amount of boudoir photographers we're being price shopped against, or buyers even know exist. Now, page one visibility activates Boudoir search visibility for us. So we're no longer at 0 slots on page one or 1 slot on page one. Technically, we can do it with two slots on page one, but we want to get to the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 for local search and city search. Now, Boudoir search visibility, if we can get to 3, that's kind of our big hump we want to get over, because we're definitely going to stand out more than all the other Boudoir photographers that have 1 slot on page one on Google. And there'll be times when another boudoir photographer will have 2 slots on Google, page one on Google. But if we got 3, I mean, we're dwarfing everyone. So we finally achieved it activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our universe. We got, disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by the 2 horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We got a solution now. S-cubed methodology. And we achieve page one visibility. So we overcome market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. To achieve page one visibility, become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So I'm going to look at me using a S-cubed methodology here. I want to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And come down to organic. Got Instagram slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So in 10 days, I went from 0 out of 10 slots page one on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page one on Google. And again, this is the only solution I've ever seen that can successfully outcompete market saturation. And it has its own, momentum to it. Where ads, if you stop spending to them, momentum instantly drops to 0. That's on Google and on Facebook. All right, we're at the main event here. And check out this boudoir photography business. Looks like we're going to Ottawa, Ontario. Seeing if we got BSS for their city search or what. All right, so we're going to Ottawa. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Boom, we got one. Let's see. All right, so our results. So we got 1 out of 10 slots page one. Google search for city. City's always harder than local search. More competitors. So yes, we do have BSS, and we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search. All right, so if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search or city search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, you're seeing you got either 0 or 1 slots there, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google, and you've accepted that page one equality is a false belief. The false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. You're seeing that Google actually give us as many page one slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you're actually seeing that S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, the only solution for you that can fix this. And you've been waiting for something like this because the ads, Google PPC, give you a best 1 extra slot, but momentum dies once you stop spending. These do have some momentum that does continue, not infinitely, but these do have momentum. And you like the initial benefits, more slots page one on Google. You really like the second initial benefit, kicking your competitors off page one on Google, relegating them to page 2, and effectively rendering them invisible to approximately 80% of boudoir buyers that are using Google search. And you understand the market saturation. Yeah, more peeps get new gear, more boudoir photographers enter the market, got it. But you're also looking ahead and seeing, man, AI is taking people's jobs right now. AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs right now. Last time that happened, COVID, big influx of boudoir photographers happened as a result of that in COVID. So you're realizing, oh man, actually a much bigger wave than before has come to boudoir photography, way more boudoir photographers. And you have decided that, man, you actually need to fortify your position on page one. You literally need to have so many links, backups to the backup links on Google that they can't rank all your links on page one, and they stay on page 2, 3, 4, because Google wants to put them on page one, but now there's no more room. And you basically need to fortify your page one position to essentially guarantee no current competitors rank on page one, and certainly no new competitors that come in from AI taking their jobs can rank on page one. So you're seeing all that, and fortifying, kind of like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because the city is below sea level. And you're seeing SQ methodology is also the only solution for boudoir photographers that can do that. And you want to achieve page one visibility to become a visible boudoir photographer and achieve boudoir search visibility, because you understand you need to acquire these things, do all these things on your path to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. You also like the future benefits of utilizing SQ methodology now, which we've not talked about yet, but every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, we are essentially creating these invisible thematic keyword columns that plug into our brand, our name, our website, associated with it, kind of out there in cyberspace, digital space, that actually means backend AI mindshare. We increase our backend AI mindshare for all these terms based on frequency, repetition, authority, age, relevance. And every single day we do this, it increases the probability we actually will get recommended for AI overview. So we're kind of building these thematic keyword clusters, invisible thematic keyword columns all around associated with our brand, our handles, everything about us. And AI can parse this. So we're increasing the probability of this, we're increasing the probability we also show up AI search, standard AI search, which is ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Increase the probability we are showing up in all these searches as an when people use their AI search. And yeah, Google's approximately 90% of global search, but dude, AI search is increasing every single day. And when I last did an AI search searching for boudoir photographers, I searched the city. ChatGPT gave me only 3. So I actually went and looked manually for basically on Google and on Facebook, how many there are out there, and there's like 60. So it's like, man, we need every possible way to get recommended AI search if there's only 3 slots. And your CNS key methodology is the only solution that can give you the best, that can allow you to do that. And you understand that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So what you've realized is you decide to become the first mover in your city, get that first mover advantage, kick out all your other boudoir photographer competitors, prevent them from using this strategy. You get all the benefits, more slots page one, more people kicked off page one to page two, effectively making them visible to approximately 80% of the market. Higher chance of fortifying your position on page one, so nobody can ever rank on page one besides you. Higher chance recommended AI search, higher chance recommended standard or recommended AI overview and recommended standard AI search, approximately 8x faster in building a large well-known brand, because we'll be seen across so many different surfaces. And building up a massive gap, kind of AI back-end AI mindshare momentum gap between your competitors in your city, with all of these invisible thematic keyword columns attached to your brand. And you understand the converse. If another boudoir photographer hopped on this, decided to go with me first, they would get all those benefits. You would actually be forced off page 2, and potentially you'd be forced off page 1, potentially also forced off page 2, and page 3 and deeper. Man, there definitely basically no one going that deep. And you'd be losing that AI mindshare. Your competitor would be recommended again, above and against you instead of you. You would be losing those slots, losing all that mindshare in the marketplace, and more boudoir photographers renting every day. So you'd actually be worse and worse for you every single day. And this means your competitor would be growing a gap between you every single day. You'd have to actually go rederive, or actually drive for the first time, S-cube methodology for yourself. And then you would have to go execute it, equal amount of execution as us every single day. And then once that happens, you're simply maintaining the gap that me and your competitor would have already built up against relative to you. So you're just maintaining the gap. So you'd have to actually outwork us 2 or 3x every single day to actually start to get some of your links on page one and go pull that back into AI mindshare back towards your brand for all these invisible thematic keyword columns. But during all this, you're still not even 100% confident you've derived SQ methodology correctly in the first place. So probably wouldn't be putting in 2 to 3x our effort into it, doing it yourself. And the second thing is, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this? So after hearing all that, you're like, screw that. I'm definitely being the first mover and adopter in my city, blocking out everyone else from using this. And as a result, we are, so if that's you, shoot me a DM. My DMs are currently closed because the hospital is currently closed to new patient intake. And then when we to open the hospital for new patient intake, shoot us a DM then, and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S cubed methodology.